What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Darku, and today we're going to be going over how to make your own budget Typhlosion. So just as a disclaimer, this is not going to be a video on how to do gym reruns, etc., because I'm not going to be another YouTuber for PokeMMO who copy and paste someone else's guide. So if you want to see a really good guide on how to do a gym rerun with the best strategy, please go to the main source, which is Minish. He has made a video and it's the ultimate guide for gym rerun, and it's his method, and like I said, I'm not going to copy and paste it like everyone else, so go check that out. So we'll be going through this guide bit by bit. The first thing I want to tell you about is where Cyndaquil is. Now this is pre-Johto, so Johto is not out during this video. Obviously at a later date Johto will actually be released and you'll be able to find Cyndaquil in the wild, probably most likely using lures somewhere in the grass. For now, the only place to actually get Cyndaquil is in Hoenn, in the Safari Zone, post Elite 4. So just to clarify, you have to beat the Elite 4 and the Champion and you unlock the next area in this Safari Zone that gets you to the Cyndaquil, the Totodile and the Chikorita. If you want to reach this Safari Zone, make sure you go to Lily Cove City at the top right here, and you can just walk over here, maybe use a rappel or something just to get over here. So this is where Cyndaquil is. I'm going to show you a map now of inside the Safari Zone and where you need to walk specifically to find your Cyndaquil, or if you wanted the Totodile, or if you wanted the Chikorita. They'll all have locations where you need to go specifically in the Safari Zone to find them. Now, I recommend this on most of my videos, especially when breeding, etc. I love the OT of your name being on your Mon. Obviously it's a lot cheaper as well to go in the Safari and try your luck. So we'll be going in the Safari Zone 3 times, so you can get a general idea of how long it takes and your chances of getting a Cyndaquil. Now, if this is information that you don't need to know, maybe you don't even want to catch your own Cyndaquil, maybe you're in a different region but you want Cyndaquil perhaps, then you can skip ahead to the next part of the video as everything is timestamped, and this is specifically about how long it's going to take, how much it costs, and a secret tip as well. So for the tip then, as you can see in front of me, we have a Sizzle and we also have a Lantern as an example. If we quickly go over to their moves and abilities, you'll notice that the ability on my Sizzle here is Swarm, which is it powers up bug type moves in a pinch. However, it has a secondary effect. And Lantern has Illuminate, which raises the likelihood of meeting wild Pokemon. But if we put our Sizzle up to our front of our party, you'll notice that the Swarm has a secondary out of battle effect, which is Swarm, and it says it is plus a 10% chance of wild encounter rate. So when we're in the Safari, it'll give us more and more encounters, so we'll use less steps to find as many like Cyndaquils as possible. So if you didn't know, before we walk in, the Safari game also cost 500 buckaroos in the game. Obviously that is nothing compared to how many balls you would spend, you know, outside the Safari catching all kinds of things. So 500 to try and catch as many Cyndaquils as we can.
Come here. What is that?
It's alright.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
Okay, so after all 3 attempts, attempt 1 we found 1 Cyndaquil and it took us 8 minutes 10 and it ran away. Second attempt we found 5 Cyndaquils but we were in there for 9 minutes 30. And on the third attempt we found 3 Cyndaquils and it took us 9 minutes 21. And we only managed to catch 1 of those Cyndaquils out of all 9. Not exactly the best result you're looking for, and the only Cyndaquil we actually managed to get was this jolly natured one, and no good IVs across the board. We got a 30 special defense, but that's about it. On the bright side, we only spent 1,500 Poke Yen going in there and trying to catch one, so we did actually manage to get a pants one, and it cost us less than 17k, which is currently what the cheapest Cyndaquil on the GTL is. So they're 17k upwards. Obviously, it only cost us 1,500 to actually get this in the first place, so it's not really that bad. All it took really was real life time that we will never get back. Now we're just going to go to the breeding centres, obviously around each region, and show you where they are. So next to Malville City in Route 117 is in Hoenn. This is the breeding area. In Sinnoh, it's just above Salacian Town. In Universe, just above Straton City in Route 3. And in Kanto, post Elite 4, you can actually reach 4 Island, and that is the breeding area for Kanto. So now we've got at least 1 Cyndaquil here, whether you bought it or you went out and got yourself one. I'm now going to show you the best way to make it the budget Cyndaquil that you need it to be. So if you can't afford to make a Typhlosion like this one here, this is my one that I bred previously in a long breeding video. So this is a bit overkill with all the IVs. You really don't need this for a budget build. You could actually get away with just having good special attack and good speed, and it doesn't even need to be 31. One of the most common things that goes over people's heads is green number means good, so everyone buys 31s all the time. However, you can actually get away with using a speed and a special attack of 30, and it would cost you less than half the price it would for a 31 IV. If you haven't checked out the 1 hour breeding video that I've made, then I would suggest going to see that to see how things actually work. We're going to do a slight glance at this, but if you want to know everything there is to do with breeding, please go check that video out first. For instance, if we go to the GTL and buy Pokemon off other people, and we go to Advanced Search, and we go to the Egg Group and change this to the Field Egg Group, and we go for a 31 speed of Field Egg Group, and then we search by price, you'll notice that the lowest price for a 31 speed IV in the Field Egg Group is 6,000 Pokeyen. However, if we quickly go to the search and change this 31 to a 30 speed, you'll notice that the lowest prices are around 1,100, 1,200. They are super cheap, and the only reason why people don't sell them is because, you know, green number must mean best, so that's like the only option. That is absolutely wrong. If you're going for a budget build, 30 IVs is perfectly fine, and it's so super cheap in comparison. The only reason why you should go 31 IVs on these sort of things is that extra little bit of push if you've really got the money for it. Unfortunately for us, it is going to be a little bit more expensive anyway because we have a Cyndaquil male, which is really unfortunate. And again, if you haven't watched the breeding video, I'd highly suggest watching that. But as a brief summary, if you have a male of something you want to breed the line of, that can be way more expensive than having the female version. For instance, we can only breed here with a female Cyndaquil or a Ditto. As you can see here, the cheapest price for a female Cyndaquil, not even with any IVs, is 26,000. Luckily for us, Dittos usually sell around 4,000 or just over, so we can try and find a really good Ditto to breed the Cyndaquil with. So note how we're going for 31 speed IV on a Ditto, and it comes up the cheapest price, 6.6, and then upwards from there on. Again, go to Advanced Search, we can change this to something like 30, literally just one off. You'll notice they're back to 4K again. Dittos, you won't notice the biggest difference because there's so many Dittos on the market. But when it comes to field groups, you will notice it changes dramatically. So we're going to go ahead here and pick up the 30 speed Ditto right here for 4,300. Unfortunate, like I said, that this is a male Cyndaquil. Now that we've got our Cyndaquil and our Ditto, we'll actually need to go get a speed band, as you can see right here. And we're going to have to put this on the Ditto to keep the speed. Here we go, Power Anklet, which keeps the speed IV, and we're just going to put that on the Ditto. So when they breed together, the speed IV will go over to the Cyndaquil. We could also grab a special defense if we really care about that, but again, we're doing a budget build. We are not carrying any IVs that we absolutely don't need over to the other one. Here's where the more money comes into it. As you can see, we're speaking to the breeding man now, and he's asking about 2 Pokemon to make an egg. We're going to chuck the Cyndaquil in there and the Ditto, and as you can see, we've got the Ditto holding that band, so it will definitely carry the 30 IVs over. And here's where it gets like the little bit more expensive. When we breed, we want to make sure it's a specific gender. We say yes, and we want to make sure it comes out as a female, and that is going to cost us 21,000 just for that alone, because the gender rates for Cyndaquil are very heavily on the male side. Now that we've got our egg, then we've also got our Chandelier out because it has the ability of Flame Body, and Flame Body, when you're out, the eggs will hatch faster when it's at the front of your team as an outer battle ability. Alright, and welcome back. We've got our Cyndaquil female finally come out. It's come out as adamant, that doesn't really matter at the moment. And we've got our 30 speed. Now what we really want is the 30 attack. Again, you could go for 31 attack if you want, but this is a budget build. So our female Cyndaquil, if you didn't know already, we've already mentioned that it's a field egg group, but just click the Pokedex on Cyndaquil, you'll notice that the egg group here actually says it's field. This could be, you know, if you're doing a different Pokemon, different egg group, obviously, but this is specifically a Typhlosion thing. So egg group is field, and again, we're going to go to the GTL, and we're looking for, like I said, a special attack 30, and I'm going to quickly show you what the benefits of the budget build, right? So we're going to go egg group, we're going to go a field egg group again, and now we're going to go for the 31 special attack, and I'll see the prices. The special attack, luckily, like in field groups, special attack is not actually that needed, like ever, really, because they're mainly like attackers. However, as you can see, they're about 2k. That's really nice actually. But if we go for a 30, they're literally like 1k. So if you were going for something like a 31 attack in this category, though, for example, 31 attack there, you'll notice they go. That one's cheap. I'm not going to snipe it, but that one's cheap. 4k across the board here. But if we went for like 30 attack, it would be 1k again. See, that one IV makes incredible difference. Like I said, there's so many people who just search and search for 31 IVs that you're missing out on the opportunity of getting 30 IVs so much more cheaper. That's 1/4 of the price for the 30 IV. Like I said, we're lucky that special attack isn't that sought after in the egg group of field, so obviously it's super cheap. Even for 31 IV special attack, it is still really cheap, but for the benefit of the video we will go for the 30, as I said, because it's only going to cost us 1.1. If anything, someone's losing money by putting up something for 1.1 because it costs you like 1,000 to put a Pokemon up. So if you're not putting up for like 200, you're really losing out on the Pokeball price, you know. So we just went into advanced search and search for male specifically egg group, and we're just going to quickly buy this Spinder. I also just realised I had my other theme on, which can be quite hard to read sometimes for those who aren't used to it, so I've just switched back to the default themes. You can see the default writing, etc. And we just bought that Spinder off the marketplace, and as you can see, that is 30 special attack, and I think that set us back like maybe 1,200. These will set us back a little bit more though. We're going to keep the power anklet for the speed of the Cyndaquil, and we're also going to get one power lens as well for the special attack on the Spinder. Now this is where it gets down to a personal choice. We're once again going to breed these together, and I'm just going to show you now. We're going to put the Cyndaquil in and the Spinder, and as you can see, special attack 30 because we guaranteed it with the band. Sorry, this side, this band. And the speed is 30 because we guaranteed it with this band as well. So we got our budget build. We only need those to actually go into it. Obviously the other stats can be random, that's perfectly fine. We're going to breed this. Now I'll ask you for the gender again, okay. Now this is your choice because, you know, it's completely up to you. Either way you do this, you can gamble this. However, we are going to go for the specific gender. It's going to cost us another 21,000, but you can say no, and you can, you know, bet that it might come out male. We're going to be yes, and we're going to make female. And it does, like I said, 21,000 extra to make it female. So the reasoning behind picking the female is because if this comes out with a nature which is against us, aka minus speed or minus special attack, we are going to want to re-roll that nature and hopefully maybe carry an Everstone over as well to guarantee the nature, etc. Just to note, if you've got something, let's say for example you've got an adamant male and an adamant female, the baby will not be adamant. I mean, there's a chance, but it's not a great chance. Like, you still have the random roll. The only way to guarantee natures is actually by using Everstones via breeding. Alright, we're back, and it hatched with possibly the worst nature, which is perfect in a way. Not great for me, but it is great for the video to sort of describe how to get rid of this now and still keep the IVs, etc. Like I said previously, luckily we kept it as a female, so we can breed it straight from a Cyndaquil, and we don't have to worry about it being male and only being able to breed with a Ditto or an extra Cyndaquil. So for a special attacker like this, you either want modest or go timid. I honestly like to go timid for this because you can be much faster, and that will help you in the long run. We're going to go field egg group, 30 speed, timid, and we're also going to try the 30 special attack as well, and we're going to go for a male. So luckily for us, actually, like the lowest one on here is 20k, which is super low in comparison to the rest of them, so we're going to snap this Sneasel as we will use it. That cost us 20k, and in fairness, that's not even that bad for something like a Cyndaquil where you want to keep the gender. It costs like 20k, and then more bands cost like 10k each, etc. So we're just going to go with that Sneasel, which had the nature that we absolutely wanted, for 20k. And luckily, because we found that one so cheap, we don't even need to carry anything over from the Cyndaquil. We just need to put the Everstone on the Sneasel and we're all good to go. So here we go again then, where we've got the Cyndaquil in with the 30 special attack and the 30 speed, and we now have our Sneasel in with the 30 special attack and 31 speed actually, so we do gamble between those two, but that's perfectly fine. This was actually a lucky snipe, I'm not going to lie, and it had an Everstone on it, so we will get the timid nature no matter what. And I will quickly explain to you why we grabbed this instead of making one. I did snipe this one for 20k, which is kind of nice. However, you could get this even cheaper if you really wanted to. Luckily, we're on the special attack thing. If we go to the GTL real quick, we go to advanced search, egg group of field once again. We go for a male, and we want, let's say, special attack because that will be pretty cheap. And we want the nature to be timid, and we search by price. You'll see that this Sandile is only 2k and he has exactly what we need. The Sandile has a timid nature which we could put Everstone on, and it also has 31 special attack. What we could do is give the Cyndaquil a speed band to keep the 30 speed, and this one the Everstone, so that would only cost us actually 12k. Like I said, I've already sniped the Sneasel for the other thing, but this could also work as well. This would only actually cost 12k in total unless you needed to buy an Everstone as well. I at least wanted to show you both methods in this video. Now that we've got the speed and the special attack and the nature we want, we can actually breed this and we don't even need to worry about the nature at all. So we can say no to that and we save extra money by not picking male or female. And most likely this will come out male. And there you go, blammo. Timid nature, which just to hover over it, it gives you more speed and less attack. And obviously we've got the IVs of 30 special attack and 30 speed. Unfortunately it didn't get the 31 speed, but that's perfectly fine. That wasn't what we were intending anyway. 30 special attack, 30 speed, plus timid nature. And obviously you'll see on the screen how much that just cost us. If we look on the market to see the 30 speed and the 30 special attack, this one's got 31. And plus the timid, the lowest price at the moment is around, well, let's say 80-90k, and that's males as well. We actually got like a super lucky roll and got a female, so we could carry on this breed if we wanted to. I'm now going to bring up a thumbnail of the video I made for the perfect places for you to go for XP and also EV train. The link will be in the description for this video as well, but that one perfectly explains every location in every region for you to EV train your mons. So in Cyndaquil I would do special attack to 252 and speed to 252, and then the rest of the points, I'd say 6 points I believe it is, I would put in HP. Because at some point when you're finished with your amazing Typhlosion that you've just bred, and you've got all the IVs, the EVs, the nature, etc., you're still going to want items like choice specs or charcoal. So for this we're actually in Hoenn again, and we're at Laverage Town, over here as you can see. And we've actually brought with us our Gothitelle. Now you can bring certain things like there's the Bennett, Gothitelle, or something else as well. And it can learn the move Thief, as well as have the ability for Frisk. So this Pokemon can check if an enemy has an item, etc. And Thief will also steal that item. Now we're in Laverage Town because we actually want to head to Magma's hideout, as that will be the best place for not only charcoal but Everstones as well. If you don't know the way, don't fear, we will show you the way. You just want to jump over those barriers and take the escalator up. Now if you have the acro bike, I don't know why you would, but if you do, you can just go straight up into the forest and bounce yourself up. However, this is the way we're taking. We're just going to take the ski and straight down from here. If you've made it at least halfway through the story, this should be open to you. We're just going to go in and you'll see people here already farming away. Straight away we found an encounter of a horde of Torkoal, so we're not going to stay here for that. That's not why we're here. Now it has found an item with Frisk, but we are absolutely not going to waste our time like thiefing every single Torkoal we see. There we go, so we found an item on this Geodude, which is pretty cool. We're just going to go ahead and use Thief. It'll have Sturdy, so it'll live, but that's fine. We're not planning on killing it anyway. We just want to steal its item. There we go, so there's an Everstone on the Geodude. He committed self-destruct anyway, so who gives a crap? We just stole the item, which is all good. You can actually run away from these fights after thiefing the item, and you will still have the item as well. So there you go, there's Everstone. We're just going to take that off now. If you don't want to actually farm Everstones yourself, or maybe you do and you want to sell them, Everstone is currently selling for around 6k each. And there we go, Frisk the Torkoal as well. He has something that we want. So we're going to go ahead and thief him. And like so, we've just stolen the item again. Let's bring up our Gothitelle. That was the charcoal we just got from him. He's still alive, surprisingly. And we're going to go ahead and run away. And as you can see, our Gothitelle is now holding the charcoal. And we're going to just remove that now. And again, you can just keep farming here until you find something you want. Everstones and charcoals are very prominent here, so this is perfect. On to the last thing then, so to finish off the Cyndaquil, now that you know where to get those items, etc. I'm going to check our bag and we can go for choice specs. So choice specs do this, okay, so when holding the item, this item increases special attack by 50% when in battle, but only allows you to use the first move. Charcoal is kind of similar, it increases it by 20% of fire type moves, and it doesn't keep you from using other moves as well. Obviously choice specs being the better one for way more power, but if you don't have enough money or you don't have battle points, etc., and you're just going for the pure budget, charcoal is the way to go. If you check your trainer card though, and you notice that you've got quite a bit of battle points, if you have over 9,500, you can actually jump to the battle towers. So in Hoenn, here we are at this battle tower down here, and if you just go straight up from here, we're going to use our bike. I'll quickly show you the actual location of where you need to go and who you need to speak to. In this building, and to the lady at the top right, she should be able to sell you such things as choice specs. Scrolling right down, choice specs right here for 9,800 battle points. My apologies, not 9,500, it is 9,800. 800 battle points. The other alternative, if you still want choice specs but you don't have any battle points and you have some money, you can actually go ahead and search for them. Choice specs, the lowest price for choice specs at the moment is 100k. Basically, that is a ridiculous amount of money, if I'm honest, to buy something that you can just get with battle points. There you go, ladies and gents, there's your timid nature Cyndaquil, or if you went for the modest, that's fine too. And obviously the 30 attack and 30 speed is a budget. You can also go up to 31 if you really wish, or you can do all the stats like my other one here, who doesn't have the perfect nature but does have amazing stats, as you can see. Hopefully you can EV train as well by checking out that other video, and you've got either the specs or the charcoal on ready to go. The only tip I will give you now is the fact that you can evolve him into Typhlosion. And when you go to the moves, you scroll down, level 82, it will learn the move Eruption. That is the main move you will be using for gym reruns. Once again, this is not a gym rerun guide. If you really want to check out a really good guide that involves the Typhlosions, please check out Minish's video, as he does a really good job explaining all the gyms, the route you should take, and how to use them properly. So I really hope you liked this budget Typhlosion guide. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and all that business. You know, share to all your buddies. Make sure you tell all the mods how great Darku is, okay? I'm just saying, I'm joking. Don't bother the mods with that sort of thing. But you know, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope this helps someone out there with your budget builds. And don't forget to check out Minish's video for the reruns, and don't forget to check out my other video for the EVs and XP farming. See you on the video, guys. Goodbye.